Yeah.
Volume's fine. All right, bet.
Okay.
Okay, so again, I'm Coach Steph. I am the Title IX coordinator at Arkansas State, and I'm also the head coach of our esports program at A State. And I am joined by Coach Duran, and I'll let you kind of do a little introduction.
Hey, my name's Duran. I keep using we for everything, for every single thing that I do. Like I'm still doing startup business stuff. Hey, my name is Duran, and I am head coach and general manager for the esports team at New York Tech.
Awesome. Okay, they said I had you too loud.
Yeah.
I've got him turned down. How's that? Better,
Yeah, let
hopefully.
me know about that. Hello?
I think I just had to turn you down. I think it was me.
Okay.
I think you're good now. All right, so anybody that is in chat that has questions for Duran or I about our programs, practice, tryouts, our facilities, anything about esports, anything about A State or about NYIT, now is your chance. Type some questions in chat, anything you want to talk about, and we're here to do it. Um, while we look for those questions and whatnot, Duran, what do you think about the speakers?
Obviously I'm partial to Dr. Zweibel.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But really great really great insight into the industry as a whole. A lot of the things is if you're in esports for a little while, you kind of get a sometimes a gist of how things work pretty quickly. But it's great to see like kind of like a more professional view on people who had like years of experience in like other areas and then kind of just pivoted directly into esports, which is really interesting. So that's really cool.
100% agree that we don't get that perspective a whole lot, not from folks that you can like talk to and feel like they're talking to you directly. So I thought that
Yeah,
was great. It was a really good opportunity for us. We have a question in chat. Um, we'll each answer these separately because obviously our two
yeah.
programs may do different things. But so will your program expand on more games or keep your core games that you're offering right now?
For New York Tech, we're constantly expanding. We're in a constant state of expansion. We are currently organizing for a few extra teams right now, and we're looking to kind of expand more into now the fall semester that's going to be coming in. Especially now with this everybody inside, everybody wants to kind of get on a team and be able to kind of show their school spirit.
Yeah,
So yeah, I could tell you from for New York Tech, we're expanding.
but and similar to us as well. Um, our players have heard this from me a million times, but we'll always expand and go where the talent and the interest is. So every year that we do tryouts, we're going to offer tryouts, signups based on any game that somebody wants to play, as long as there's enough interest in it, enough people for the tryout, and as long as the talent is there for them to compete at the collegiate level, we're going to offer it. It's not based on the games that I play or the games that I like. It's based on what you all play and what you like and what you're able to be successful at or compete at the
Yeah.
collegiate level on. So we're always looking to expand. Obviously, that's the bigger your program is, the better opportunities you have for your players, and the more involvement you can get from folks on your campus.
hmm
Um, they want to know if you're gonna have a Valorant team
Yeah, we're working on that one already.
already.
Thankfully,
Who you got?
yeah. Yeah, yeah, we got some people who got I got beta on like the third, so I've been playing it a
Dang.
lot.
Oh, I know.
I
Every
got
time I look at you in Discord, you're playing that or Apex, man.
It's so good. I like it. It's a really nice, it's a clean tactical shooter. It's avoiding a lot of the issues that we originally had with like CS:GO and stuff like that. So
Yep.
it's a pretty much a start for us. Thankfully, Nbox is going to be having a team up soon. I'm not a team, but a tournament coming in soon. So
Aren't they
I'll
one of
send
the
you that.
sponsors for like the New York Subliners?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're the company that owns the subliners. So
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
subliners are owned by Nbox, which is owned by the Mets. So technically, it's a Mets team.
Sick.
Yeah. So that's the direction we're going in. We're kind of just waiting to see how it's going to play out, especially with all the policies that are coming in now for
Yeah.
tournaments where I think they turn off blood and then they do a few other small things that really help us for collegiate. Um, for yeah. So Yeah, we're organizing for that one already. We have a lot of people. I put up a sign up form like today. So what about you? How's
Well, we have not promoted that we're looking for a Valorant team, but we're not looking for a Valorant team. I think if there's competitions there for Valorant, right? Like if there's,
Mhm.
because you could have a Valorant team, right? You could have a team in anything, but if there's not
Yeah,
competitions for them to compete in, they just kind of sit there and practice by themselves. So as long as the competitions flesh out in the collegiate world for Valorant, which I think they will,
yeah, no,
I think
definitely.
that then we'll definitely have teams for that. As long as again we have the interest there. If folks on our campus want to play Valorant and they're pretty good at it, then we'll sign them up. Let's see. We got a question. Somebody wants to know who your favorite team is. Um, I guess
That
they
is such a loaded
no no
question.
no
I
they
that
they
is
they specifically mean I guess based on what he said after that, like of the teams that you currently have on your in your esports program, who's your favorite team?
God. That's such a loaded question. That is such a like you're
That's
making
a
me
bait.
walk
That's
through a
bait.
minefield.
That's bait.
That's
Uh,
that's bait. That's bait if I ever seen it.
oh man, he said say League of Legends no pressure. I don't know if that's to me or Duran, but I mean my favorite game currently is Apex, so I'm just gonna go with that. I'm gonna go with that. I'm an
I
Apex
just got a
fan.
message from my NYIT Discord, and they said pick Overwatch Team 2 or else.
Oh
So
dang, you're getting threats.
that's
Yo,
yeah,
that's in the chat also.
I'm
Yeah.
getting threats. Or yeah, it's the same guy.
Oh man, you better watch
Cool,
out.
cool, cool.
You definitely said
I
Overwatch
love
too.
the
I think you said it.
NYIT esports team the most.
Oh, that's a safe question. That's a safe
Got him.
answer too. Yeah, got him. Let's see. Warzone team. You're gonna have a Warzone team.
Warzone's difficult.
Yeah, I agree.
I think we barely got approval for Call of Duty. It's just a lot of the Call of Duty stuff are happening on PlayStation
Mhm.
only.
Yep.
So it's kind of it's tough because everybody's already playing on PC, and if we want to do Warzone, we can, but a lot of the tournaments that are happening are all on console, so
Yeah. Well, that's where the
it's like
competitive scene is, so like it makes sense to me.
yeah.
That's what's hard about Modern Warfare 2. Like everybody wanted a team, and I don't not want a team. Like I grew up playing Call of Duty.
Hmm.
Like that's my
Same.
first game was Call of Duty, right? And I think I've played every COD there is, but the the consoles is just not when universities are investing their money into esports right now, it's not in consoles. It's
Yeah.
in PCs, and so again, you could have like a bomb Warzone team or a Modern Warfare team, but if they're only playing on console and there's and the cross platform and the tournaments isn't there, it's really hard
Yeah.
because you don't have any place to compete. You're just a team that practices alone. Um, but yeah, if that changes, I'd be down. Um,
Yeah. No,
I'd be down
definitely.
for sure. Or similar to like Apex, right? Like a lot of the Apex tournaments, you can do controller on PC. So if there's
Yeah.
like room for that, totally down. I think we could do that. Let's see what else we got here.
I think everybody's just talking about COD right now.
Yeah, PlayStation gang, Switch gang. I've never played a Switch. I mean, I know what Switch is obviously, but I'm just not a. I don't know. I've never played a Switch. Have you played Switch? Do you own a Switch?
Yeah, I have a Switch. I like it.
You're
It's
not
nice
playing Animal
because
Crossing, are you?
no, I actually don't have it. I think what I was gonna do, I was gonna buy Animal Crossing for my mom, is what I was gonna do. I guess Animal Crossing isn't just kind of the game, isn't the kind of game for me.
Yeah.
So maybe in the future, I guess.
COD, Modern Warfare is cross-platform or Warzone. Yeah, yeah. We know it's
Yeah.
cross-platform. What we're saying is like the tournaments though are not.
Mhm.
The tournaments are
They're all
strictly
PlayStation
console.
specific.
Yeah. Because that's just where the competitive scene went. Like even the Call of Duty tournaments that came out, like if you look at the collegiate competitive COD scene, like really good teams in the South and the Midwest, especially like Mississippi State, Ole Miss. I'm thinking about the Mississippi teams for sure, but like Texas A&M, like all those schools have really phenomenal Call of Duty teams, but they're all the tournaments are like console only, and
Yeah.
that's just not where university esports programs are investing their money. So it's really hard.
Yeah, it's more diverse to buy a computer and be able to do like the myriad of games like League of Legends and Overwatch and everything else than like kind of commit to just like Call of Duty. Unless your Call of Duty team is like semi-pro, then I'd be like, okay,
Yeah.
let's but
We need
it's
consoles, Kid. We need consoles.
we
Let's see. What's the interest in CS? I love CS:GO. Definitely down for a CS:GO team. So a lot of the games that we did tryouts for in fall of
Hmm.
2019, we just started the program. We'd been having conversations about it since February of 2019, and then we started doing tryouts and determined we were going to do that in like June, July. And so when we did that in August, we had a lot of interest, but it just wasn't there for CS:GO. I don't think it's not there for CS:GO as a game. I just think that there weren't enough people that knew we had a program at the time to do a tryout. I think if we did that like a tryout tomorrow, you'd have a ton of people. So I definitely think that in the fall when we do a CS:GO tryout, you'll have more people. But I'd love to have a CS:GO team. I think CS:GO is one of the staples of esports like League. So I think that if you have those staple games, it makes your program more recognizable. You get a bigger platform. There's tons of competitions. You don't have to worry about that. Definitely something we'd be interested in. Do you guys have a CS:GO team, Dorian?
No, it's CS:GO is a little bit harder for us in for New York in general with obvious reasons. Very obvious situations that happened in New York.
Yeah.
So kind of being a New York team and promoting a team that just says terrorists win at like the top of their lungs every single
Yeah.
time
Yikes.
is a little difficult for us. It's a very slippery slope, and at the end of the day, like the school is trying to promote itself, and it's kind of hard to be able to promote the school and everything when you're playing a game like that. That's why I think why we were so it's easier for us to get into Valorant because of a lot of like attackers, defenders, switch, and we have a R6 team which is doing very well, and we have a shout out to the R6 team and everything. But it's just there's just some very fine lines that we have to cross, some very narrow lines we have to like traverse for CS:GO, which is yeah.
Yeah, I know. I yeah, somebody said, "Wow, I never thought about that in chat." Yeah, I mean me either, but stuff like that's everywhere. In different ways, you'll see stuff like that in different geographic locations, unfortunately. But it is what it is. You just gotta work around it if you can. Team fight tactics. Hmm.
Are there any collegiate? Because
I've not
I
seen
can
it.
actually can I ask you a question? What is your
Yeah.
qualification? I know for you have like it's mostly interest, but like is for me when I'm trying to start up a new team in general, like I have to check off a few boxes for myself, which is like has to be obviously enough interest, and then after that there has to be a collegiate tournament of some kind. Do you usually just go after collegiate tournaments, or do you go for like open division? Because I know our Overwatch team plays an open division, played an open division this season. So do you like, for example, if someone came up to you and said, Teamfight Tactics team when, and you go, where's the collegiate team? Where's the collegiate tournament? And there's not one. Do you still go for like try to put them into like random tournaments, or what
Yeah,
would you do?
yeah, yeah. If there's a platform for tournaments in general, I would still
Yeah.
consider the team. I think it is
Hmm.
better if there's a collegiate platform because I just
Yeah.
think that makes sense, right? Like that you can be where was the kid from? University of Arizona that got picked up by 100 Thieves on League? I think
Yeah.
he was from University of Arizona, right? So like you can play on a non-collegiate team or be a collegiate team that plays in a non-collegiate tournament and be successful and get noticed, but I think it is easier and more and better for the program and better for the players if it's a collegiate platform that you're playing on. I just think the exposure is better. I think the opportunities are better, but I'm not opposed to that. If there were tournaments that weren't collegiate based, I think we'd still play as long as there's an avenue. There's not really. I don't even want to say that there's a collegiate platform for Apex. Like there is cause, but it's that
Um,
that that's it. So like, what else
uh,
do you do?
I think there is one. I have yeah, I have College Apex. I'm on the College Apex
Yeah,
Discord.
the cause one, the College Apex Weekly
Yeah.
series, but
Okay.
like
Okay. Cool.
besides that, there's
There's nothing official.
yeah,
There's like
there's nothing
yeah.
else, right? But there's that. So we have an Apex team because I think it will expand and there was interest and the kids were the players we got are talented and they can hang.
Yeah.
They've been in the top 10 like every time we play cause. So I, I don't know if there's interest and there's tournaments. Yeah, I think it's better if there's collegiate tournaments, but I would not
Yeah.
hold a team or field a team just because there wasn't a collegiate
But there
platform.
has to be at least some kind of tournament. You
Yeah, there
can't
has to
be
be.
a
Yeah, because otherwise, right, you're just a fully
yeah.
formed team sitting there playing who? What are you gonna play a GB in Overwatch? Like,
Yeah.
what are you gonna do?
Yeah. Pretty
I
much.
mean,
Yeah.
just it just doesn't make sense, right? If there's no platform to compete in.
Hmm.
then you truly are doing like the gamer thing, the gamer stereotype that people think about.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're just playing just to play. Um, let's see. No Animal Crossing unsubscribed. Dang, don't say that. Don't say that. Animal Crossing, man. I don't know what to say. It's Animal Crossing. What do you want from me? Um,
Could have like competitive fly fishing, I guess. I think would be would be probably whoever can get rid
uh,
of all their debt first wins.
God, imagine.
Um,
Let's see here. Esports apparel, shirts, jackets. We have jerseys. You guys have jerseys. What other stuff do you guys have besides jerseys?
we have sweaters. And we
Sweaters.
have
What do you mean by what do you
yeah.
mean by a sweater? Like a crew neck sweater?
No, we have zip up hoodies.
Zip up hoodies?
Yeah.
I need to see this.
I'll send it to you.
Yeah, send me a picture in chat so I can put it on the screen or something. We've been we have the apparel piece figured out. The same company that does our jerseys, we're going to do an online store through them. It's going to be direct from consumer to manufacturer. A State is not the middleman. We're never going to touch your money. You directly pay the manufacturer. They make items to order, and so we can put as many items online in the store as we want. Like, let's say we had 15 pieces of apparel on the store. It wouldn't cost us any money to do 15 pieces versus one because they only make it as the orders come in.
Mm,
When we've ordered jerseys from them, the turnaround time, I could order 50 jerseys from them. I'd get them in a week.
yeah.
And so just always been great quality, great service from them. So we're definitely gonna do that. Um, and we're gonna do it in an online platform. There's some legal hoops and things we got to work through, and we've been working
Yeah,
through.
I feel
So
that.
it takes time, but to do it the right way, it's totally worth it.
Hmm.
And we don't want to be the middleman with money. I don't want to. It's too much. We just want to make it easy.
Honestly, same.
Yeah, I don't want to. I don't want to do all that.
I'm dealing with enough stuff already. Now I got to deal with your money.
Exactly. Um, I think I think if we traveled right, like I think if we were teams like Maryville who are established or like University of
Yeah.
Arizona or Boise State and you travel, I think backpacks, like gaming backpacks are sick. I think that like is a long-term vision goal. I think
Yeah.
when we have a gaming backpack, you'll know that we've made it. Like
Yeah. Okay.
that's my threshold right there. Um, but I think
Yeah,
shirts are cool. T-shirts are cool.
I think regardless of the fact that I just said I don't like to deal with your money, there I think for I sent you the link for our sweaters and everything, and I think they do make for what's it called?
Let's see.
They make for backpacks for us with like the Cybers logo on them, but it's like you can't just buy it online. It's
Let me see
very
if I can put these. Oh, there we go. Okay.
yeah.
You guys see these on stream? This is what he just
Yeah,
sent me. Oh, those are
I got it.
sick.
Yeah,
See,
they
so
came out great job to Archon, the Archon designer. She freaking knocked it out of the park on that one.
those are nice. I like that hoodie, man. I really like that. I'm glad it's not a half zip hoodie. I don't know why. Half zip hoodies kind of, I don't know, they
I
irk
don't
me.
understand the purpose of those.
Yeah. Your jersey's
And I
sick
think
too.
yeah, I think and thankfully our athletics director put us on the there's like an athletics like specific what's it called? Like like merch shop, and you can like customize like a pullover sweater with like the Cybers logo on it. But it won't be like this. It's just a like I forgot what sweater. It's like a sweater, but you just can like cut instead of it saying like NYT Bears or NYT like Bears soccer, or say like NYT Cybers.
Oh, so and you guys are different because you have your own mascot for your esports team, and
Yeah,
we
that was interesting.
Yeah, so
Um,
tell me, like, did you decide that, or was that something that was like suggested to you or voluntold to you? Like, because a lot of schools have some school. I don't say a lot. I'll say some schools have a mascot,
yeah.
and I'll say some of them are told they can't have a mascot. Some of them are told they have
Hmm.
to have one, and some of them get to pick and choose to keep it all like one branding.
Yeah.
So tell me how that worked out for you guys.
Yeah, so we're in an interesting situation because we started off as the head coach. I'm also the founder of the Cybers team. So what happened was it's a really interesting story because I graduated with my graphic design degree in 2017. So during that time I was only president of like game club. So I originally we weren't under athletics. It was kind of just a bunch of students saying, you know what, I think I'm pretty good at games, so I'm gonna play this game. So we started off with like Heroes of the Storm, rip Heroes of the Storm chat, and then so then I wanted to make, like, it was my senior year for graphic design. I was like, let me try like a little senior project for myself, um like a kind of something that I just wanted to do just to kind of bring up the hype on the team, just so it was like a sense of pride for the team itself. So I made this original like the Cybears logo that you see today, and then one of the, like our advisor said, why don't we just call it the Cybears? And then we ran with that. And then the athletics department's like, yeah, let's do this esports thing. And I was like, can we keep the logo? And he said, yeah, sure, why not?
Dang.
and, and now we have our own separate branding for the Cybears compared to the Bears, which is our normal traditional sports team. So that's how we got to that point. It's one of those things where it's like, hey, I didn't think I'd get this far. It's like you kind of do something just for like a passion of doing something. And then when people are like, hey, I kind of like that, let's continue with that. It'd be like, bet. And now we have the side. Now we're officially the Cybears under New York Tech.
Dang.
So yeah, it
Okay.
was one of those things that I did for fun, and then it was and now it's an official thing. So it's thanks to like the
Okay.
support of like everybody, and the athletics director Dan Velez and everybody in athletics, and the president Hank Foley, we were able to just get it kind of just going. So now this is where we
That's
are.
sick. That's sick. We we talked about whether or not we would do a mascot in like
Hmm.
February when the chancellor texted me. He said I was playing Fortnite. I don't really remember if I was playing Fortnite because I definitely paused the game that I was playing, so
Hmm.
it couldn't have been Fortnite. But um, I was definitely playing a game, and I paused it, and I was talking to him, and he uh he said, hey, you want to do this esports thing? So we started talking in February, and
Hmm.
he said, is there like a mascot? How does this work? And I was like, most schools that I've seen don't have one,
Hmm.
but it doesn't mean that it's a bad thing. It's just a preference. Like, I don't know that it hurts or helps you. It's
Yeah.
really like what your university wants. And so, talk to the media folks and talk to a lot of constituents, like interested parties here, obviously, and kind of felt it out. And we just decided that we didn't want to do a mascot. We thought like we would just keep the same branding. And I think that's because their vision was that we would eventually transition. Right, we're club to varsity team, right? So we're a club sport now. We're trying to become
Hmm.
a varsity team, and I think a lot of the athletics folks feel like we're going to get picked up under NCAA. I don't know that that will happen anytime in the near future. I don't think NCAA actually wants to touch esports at all. I think they're
Yeah, I
scared
think
of it.
I think the quote that came out for NCAA, and please correct me if I'm wrong, chat and everything, but I think they said they didn't want anybody shooting anybody's heads off. I think that was like the quote from like
Yeah.
NCAA, like someone from NCAA, and I was kind of partial to like NCAA getting involved from what I've heard from like athletics and people who have been working with NCAA for a long time. And then I went to a conference and people were talking about it there for collegiate esports, and they were like, one person was like, do you realize how much that would validate collegiate esports if NCAA got involved? And I was like, dang, that's
But do you think so? Do you think that's true though? Do you really think that esports isn't already kind of self-validated?
oh no, yeah, we don't need validation anymore. That ship has
Yeah.
sailed. Like where
Yeah. Okay, good.
esports
That's
was
where that's where I was
collegiate.
going, so
No, yeah, no, collegiate esports was pretty much just like hey, traditional sports, you either get on this train or you get off the train. Like we're gonna run
yeah.
you over. Like
Yeah.
we don't really care at this point. But it was an interesting point. Um,
I agree. I think so. I think our athletics folks here thought that eventually it would be under NCAA, and I think they felt like it was coming quickly. And I was like, I really disagree. I don't think it's going to be
uh,
there. And if it did ever go there, I don't think it's anytime soon. But I think
yeah,
their thought was, well, if it ever does, you're going to have to either completely break off from the brand that you separately create with esports and rejoin the institution, and that's going to look bad. And I don't know that it looks bad. I just think that it is true. Like you're having to rebrand almost, but I think it's also really smart. Like you look at the franchise leagues and the names, like Houston Outlaws, right? Like they
yeah,
have their own mascot, they built their own brand, but that's really easy. Those are pro teams. That's you're talking big money, right? Collegiate teams, I don't know. If you're successful like you guys have been, and your league team, I think about your league team, right? They won like what they win first in their conference up there in a conference play.
Yeah, yeah, we won for East Coast Conference, and we're gonna be playing the finals, well, the semifinals next week.
Yeah,
So,
like you guys, you're in a really nice spot because you're East Coast. I think esports is bigger in the East Coast than it is in the Midwest, but I think it's catching up.
hmm
But two, I think you've got like a really nice platform to do that, and you've been successful. And I don't know that we wouldn't have been successful with a separate branding. I just think it's really hard. And I don't know. I guess we just wanted to stick with the logo and what people
yeah,
knew. Um, Part of that may have been laziness for some folks too, because they just wanted to get it up and going and get it going quickly, so they didn't want to have to recreate, if that makes sense.
yeah,
So it's a lot easier to brand if you already have everything,
yeah.
and you just
No,
yeah. So
it kind of just takes it allows people to from the normal A State fan base to be like, oh, that's the A State logo. I haven't seen that A State jersey before. Like I
exactly,
completely understand, but from my end, the way that I've kind of just been promoting is just kind of just being like whenever in athletics thing, just keep retweeting athletics things and kind of just it's obviously more difficult in the long run for me because I have to kind of promote the team to a point where we're at the same level as athletics. But I think to each their own, honestly. Uh,
for sure. I
this
think I think everybody
yeah.
can be successful, and it's one of those things where like the $10 shirt is gonna sell to one group of people, and a $100 shirt, same thing, is gonna
Mm-hmm.
sell to different groups. So I think everybody can win.
But they're both shirts.
Yes, exactly. Um, a little bit of update for the stream. I'm going to type this in chat, so if you want to get it, now's your chance. I asked Face Panda, David Chen, where folks could send their resume or questions or information for the internship consideration. And
Mm-hmm.
so I'm going to type that in chat
That
and type this here. Looks like you're going to be sending it to his boy Newton. I love Newton. Shout out to Newton. He super helped us put everything together. He is David's right hand man. Great guy. He's been very, very helpful. So if you can send all of your information, resumes, and whatnot to Newton at gtifcapital.com, that is where David said you can send it. Um, Remember what he said? I think, I can't echo that enough. They're looking for more than just grades, they're looking for character. Um, and that's going to help us segue too into a question that's in chat, I think. But Newton at gtifcapital.com, present your best self. Good luck, and let us know if you guys get any feedback or hear anything. He said they would announce the internship, so I think that's pretty cool. That he's offering one to A State and NYIT. That's pretty sick. So,
yeah, it's awesome.
all right, let's see a question in chat. From Goody Man. Shout out to Goody. Goody is one of our Rocket League players. As a coach, if you had interest for a game, but the players were below average at the game, would you follow through with creating the team? Ooh.
That's an interesting question.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to answer that first, and then I'll go?
Ha! I see what you did there. Yeah, so um let's see. I I say it depends, and it would only depend for me on kind of one scenario that I'm thinking about, right? So let's say we're talking about Fortnite, and I got 6 kids that want to try out for Fortnite, and I could make 3 really good duos teams, or I can make 2 banging duos teams, and the other 2 I feel like are gonna struggle because it's the gameplay knowledge or the technical ability just not there. Um, it has zero cost outside of a jersey to me as a coach to add another team, to have 3. I think it benefits the players way more than it benefits me as a coach, because it's not about benefiting me as a coach. It's really about benefiting the program and the players. So I think that the pros for that kind of outweigh the cons for me. The con there would be practice time. The amount of time that you as a coach are able to commit to the individual improvement of each player and to the growth of those players as people, is definitely something to consider, because Duran can tell you, like, it takes just a lot of time.
Yeah.
You have, I got 30-ish players on our roster total that I communicate with on a regular basis, and it is a lot of time and a lot of energy, and I love it. And that's not a knock. That's not a con. That's just the reality. It's a lot of
Hmm.
time. So you have to think about adding more folks, more practice time, more use of your facilities, and how that operates and works out. But if we're able to do that, I would personally. Um, because I think it could help the players if I saw their growth potential. If you're not where you could be, but your ceiling's really high, I'm down to work with you because I think that's the purpose of a coach is to help you get better. And especially I am more apt to do it if they're two players that in this scenario I'm talking about two players, so I'll just keep saying that. If they have great character, their grades are good, and they would add intangible value to our team. I'm all about intangible values too. So you could be the best player in the room, but if you have a terrible character, I don't really want you on the team. I'll be 100% honest, because that also doesn't help us as a program for our branding. So you could not be the best player in the room, but have a phenomenal character and have good grades and do a lot of other things that are intangibles for the program. And I'd 100% work with you and be willing to take them on. So
Yeah, I think that's the same thing here. I kind of go something I tell to like all my new teams when it's mostly just like a team full of just like new people to the program is I'm gonna reciprocate a lot of the work that you guys are also putting into the team. So if I see that you guys are always practicing and I see you guys are always online practicing and I'll like for my Rocket League team, what I usually do is like after their matches, I usually sit down with them and we rewatch like the entire VOD of like whatever match that they just played. And I think it's kind of just like I'm not really if I was looking for the best players in the world, I it's not the best players in the world aren't necessarily in collegiate. Like I'm going after I'm looking for players who are just passionate about their game and are just looking to expand and are looking to be better at their game. And I think that's kind of like what I really go after.
yep,
For creating a team, like you said, like there's no extra costs except for like jerseys to be able to create a new team, I'm up for that. It's just you got to know that like you got to put in work um because I'm trying to manage like all the other teams as well. Thankfully with help from like team captains it makes it a little bit easier for me, but
for
like
sure. Shout out team
yeah,
captains.
yeah, shout out to team captains. And it's just yeah, it's pretty much just put in the work that I see you put in is the work that I'm gonna reciprocate back into that team for you,
Yep.
or if not more. So it's kind of like you scratch my back, I scratch yours, kind of deal. I know it's not the best analogy, but that's pretty much just like how collegiate works. There's just so many moving parts. The colleges are so big where it's like everybody's interested, and then sometimes like that's why like sometimes I like to cap my teams at like two teams per game, mostly because it's like it's a lot to manage for like an entire Overwatch team and
Yep.
much less two Overwatch teams.
Exactly.
So it's and then that's when we gotta go do tryouts and then I gotta deliver the bad news like, hey, you didn't make it onto the team, and it'd be like try again for next semester and we'll try you out again. So yeah,
Let's see. Got another question here. What about creating an academy or remedial team? No jersey, just people that are trying to improve with the goal to make it to the main squad.
I think that's what the Discord's for. That's
Yeah,
for New York Tech. That's what the Discord's for. If you see that the Overwatch team is playing together in an open channel that you can see, that means that most likely it's okay for you to go and play ranked with them, which is going to be good for you in the long run because then when you get to tryouts, you already know how the team works. Um, so that's what I have no problem with making academies slash remedial teams. Um, yeah, so. AKA all Overwatch channels. We have so many Overwatch channels. I have to tell you that Overwatch Team 2 channel is the most popping off channel. It pops off at like 4 o'clock in the morning. They're popping off in channel. I'm like, what are you guys doing awake? You guys have to sleep.
bro, that
And it's
sounds like
like,
what Jeffrey needs to be in Red Tag. Our captain, he's queuing and he's literally queuing at 4 in the morning, and then he's mad
uh,
when he hops in a game with a Masters like pro player, pro streamer. He's like,
oh my
ah, and I'm
gosh.
like, well, you queued at like 4 or 5 in the morning. Um, but yeah, I agree. I think that that's what that's for. Like a lot of our we created a future students channel like segment in Discord and an alumni
Mm.
segment, and then they have like the main Discord for privacy purposes. Like I did the Title IX thing, so I got to think about minors and like who has access to those because a lot of our
Oh,
students are
okay.
underage, and then we got future students that are all underage, and I don't
Mm.
want you got to be careful with the online platforms sometimes. So we tried to segment it a little bit, but
Yeah.
all of our competitive players have a tag that lets them see all of those channels. So our competitive
Yeah.
players can interact with future students, with alumni, with all of our current folks in the Discord. They could play, and a lot of them do play. Shout out to all of my teams. They're really great about that. Like they play with people all the time. And
Mhm.
so if you want to get to know somebody or get to know a player or a program, play with them. You want to see how they're playing, you want to get better. Like some of the subs that we have right now on our teams came from suggestions from my players who said, "Yo, I played with this kid the other night, and they're really good." And I said, "Okay." I said, "Let me see him play." And when we needed a sub, we invited him to tryouts, and we opened it up to everybody.
Yeah.
But that's how you get out there. Like,
Mhm.
I'm thinking about like the COD scene, like a Seam that plays right now. You guys know if you guys know Asim, ASIM. A lot of people say ASIM, but that's not right. It's Asim. If you watch him play, he
Mhm.
started out as a sub in a Discord for phase replays for Crowder,
Oh.
and that's how he like got his start. He was just doing sub games, and now he's a pro player. So like I think about it compared to the collegiate scene. I think that you start playing with our players if they think you're good and they like playing with you and they think you're a good person because they know that I'm also looking for that too in our program, then they'll
Mhm.
throw your name out to me all the time. And that's how some of the casters you're going to see today for our games, they're people who our players have played with and said, yo, they're really cool. We like them. And they play really well. And those are the folks that like we get to know. So it's a really good name, a really good way to get your name out there.
I think it's kind of just like the daily grind. It's like you gotta what I forgot what the term is, but you gotta kind of just shoot your shot and kind of just be like
Yep.
you gotta do that daily grind. Nobody's just gonna be like, oh, I'm master, so I'm instantly on the team. No, you're not. That it doesn't guarantee anything for you.
Yeah,
At the end of the day, we're looking for people who work well with other people.
exactly.
So.
Yeah, I struggle. This is not like I think that's where esports is slightly different from traditional sports. Traditional sports, you're gonna see rosters that have people on there that are super talented, like some of the
Mhm.
best players, but they're probably not the best teammate,
Yeah.
and you see that. In esports, you really can't afford that. And so you're
Hmm.
not going to see a lot of that. The people who are super toxic, who even though they're really talented, they're still not on top level teams and they still get benched or cut all the time.
Yeah.
And so I just think that there's something to be said for that. You got to know how to talk to people. Um, that's another thing. So how do you as a coach do you get involved and when do you get involved when you're watching your team practice and you see that they're having a discussion that's getting pretty heated or a disagreement that's maybe not as collegial or professional as it should be? What do you do?
For me, it's kind of just I have to let those things calm down for a bit, and then I have to like go and talk to people specifically, and then kind of just let them know because I feel like when people get heated in those situations, it's usually just heat from that specific match. Um,
Yep.
and or it could be something that's coming off for a while. So like I remember I had an issue a while back where I had to like specifically talk with someone, and be like, listen, I know that you talk like this, but you have to realize that this has a weight on your team, regardless if you're joking or not. And you have to like realize that like with you as like the most vocal person on the team, like what you say has weight. So I think just having people realize certain things, and I think and people are not trying to be like douchebags. Like I would hope not,
Yeah.
but it's kind of just like sometimes in the moment things get heated, and sometimes people say certain things, but that's like every sport, period.
Yep.
But obviously to a point, you can't just be like obviously a line there, where I will bench people for specific words and stuff like that. But yeah, I think it's kind of just like talking to them and kind of helping them realize, and then letting them know, like, and then letting them know, like, hey, if you do this again, like, I will bench you. Like, there's no, I gave you a warning and I gave you two warnings, and after the second warning, like, okay, this is a problem. Like, you need to take a break, kind of a deal. That's how I deal with that. What about you?
Well, we I I try not to be too involved in some of their discussions because a really good friend of mine, shout out to Matt. Matt's a national rugby champion and All American, and he's our executive director of student health and wellness. So he has previously coached the rugby team. His dad helped start the rugby team here, and he oversees club sports for us. So I go to him for a lot of things that I need. But he told me a long time ago. He said if you get involved in everything that they have, every little discrepancy or disagreement or whatever they have, they'll never work anything out on their own. And
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, that's true. So I tried to step back, and all the well, they're being too loud or they're this or they're that. I just kind of let them do their own thing now. And then if
Mhm.
somebody responds respectfully or it's not going anywhere, then I let them come to me. But outside
Yeah.
of that, they got to work it out on their own. I think it's different. Um, when you I was just having this discussion with a player this morning, right? So if you most of our players, unless you've been on a semi-pro team or you've been doing something seriously in GBs or some other platform, you have never truly played on a team before in esports. And
Mm.
I think it's totally different to sit in a call with your friends and play and feel like you're
Yeah.
in a team-based game than to actually play on a team and to sit there and listen to two, three, four, five other people tell you that you're playing wrong or that you're doing something incorrectly or that the way you talk to them is bad or that you don't have any comms, I think is really, really hard if you've never done that before.
Yeah.
And one of the things I preach to them is it is not personal. This is business from a team perspective. And so if
Mhm.
somebody's giving you feedback, you got to be open-minded to it. You can't sit there and get defensive about it. These aren't your friends telling you you're bad people. These are your teammates saying I didn't like that play you made. And you have to be able
Mhm.
to mentally separate that or you're not going to be successful. So I try to let them work that stuff out on their own, giving them just a little bit of guidance to work through those tough conversations with, because otherwise it is really tough, and it's really hard for you as a person to separate being a player and a teammate from being somebody's friend. And I think they're two
Yeah.
different things in esports. It includes esports too. It helps it be more professional, in my opinion. Help makes those conversations a little bit easier, but it's hard. It's hard,
Yeah.
and
It's tough.
yeah, for sure, for sure. Um, Spam these flares to defeat the cybers. And we got a little campus rivalry building. I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm friends with my teammates. Good. You should be. You should. You guys spend a lot of time together. It'd be sad if you spent all this time together playing and you didn't talk to each other outside. Um, let's see. Any other questions in chat before we do a little virtual tour of the HQ? And then I hate my team. Well, that's a lie. You're like obsessed with them. That's our jungle player.
Mhm.
um, Duran, do you want to send me some photos of your space and I can put it up on the stream and show people
Yeah. Let me
where you
see if
guys
I can
play?
find them.
All right, let me turn on some lights in here real quick and set the mood, and then we'll show you guys the HQ. Be right back. Oh, you want me to send it real quick? All right, let me see. I'll type it. Type. I'm sending it now. Okay, let me get this cam set up. Yes, we're gonna do a virtual tour. We're gonna do a virtual tour of the HQ. Let me get this set up real quick. Okay, make this bigger. All right, give me 1 second. I gotta move this cord here, so I got some room to work with. All right. So that door, wish it would. There we go. It's focusing. That door that you see there is where our players come in every day from the outside. This is a space that we renovated. This used to be a lounge for people to hang out in between our upperclassmen apartments on our campus. And so this was just a common area that had a front desk, has some laundry facilities. Through those doors, through those doors that way to the right, there's a full laundry facility that our players can use. And there's also gender neutral restrooms. To the left, outside those doors, is over in this corner, are some vending machines. And so these doors are keycard access. You use your A-State ID, and we give you access to it, and you just keycard swipe in. They can come in anytime between 10 a.m. and 2 a.m. And then after that you got to get some sleep, and that helps our players and students too who like have jobs and work evenings after classes. They can come in late at night if they want, if they don't have class the next day, stuff like that. But the number one rule in the HQ, and the players can tell you, if you didn't go to class, don't come in here. You cannot skip class and come here, and you cannot come in here and stay till 2 a.m. and then not go to class the next day, because then I'm not super nice about it. So that over there is a kitchen, has full size appliances in it. You can bring your own food, you can cook there, you can do whatever you want. This space over in the corner, you'll see this space. Back behind that space, when you go through there, there's another door you can go in. When you go in that door, there's a player's lounge in the back. Has some couches. It's painted. It's going to be a TV on the wall. You can hang out in there, do homework. You can use it as a second VOD review station. Hang out just to be around other gamers. You can do that if you want. That initial space here, when you walk in, where these glass areas are, that was a front desk. We're gonna make that a caster station, or like for casters. I think we're gonna convert that slowly but surely into a casting area. You can see that we have cameras right here on the wall, and this 360 rotating camera here as well. This space has Wi-Fi and wired internet. So as you pan, these are the setups. This row in front of me, immediately in front, is NZXTs. There are 5 stations of NZXTs. The desks or setups that they're on are 59.5 inches wide, and they are ADA compliant. They go as high or as low as they need to. You can adjust them with the touch of a button. They're electronic. And they also connect via Bluetooth to your phones. So if you like your height at a certain level, you see that first desk is a little bit lower, and somebody else comes in behind you and they like theirs a little bit higher, it will automatically adjust to your Bluetooth settings that you like. So they went all out on those. They're pretty swanky. With the NZXTs, every station in here has a Razer camera, which is what I'm also using here. All of our chairs are Respawn. They're red and black. And then the equipment for the NZXTs is HyperX. So the keyboard, the mouse, the headset, all of that is HyperX, and the monitors are all 240 hertz monitors. The computers themselves are 2080 Ti graphics cards, so they are top of the line. They're super, super nice. And so all of our players can stream. They can do whatever they need to on these setups. The bandwidth in this space is greater than all 5 buildings of North Park Quads on our campus combined, which houses a little over 1,000 students in it. So no drop frames in this space, folks. This is top of the line, state of the art gaming facility. This TV you see here on the wall, we have HDMI port. All of our computers here can connect to this TV, and we can broadcast them on there. That TV connects to my coach's station that I'm sitting at in this corner, and I can broadcast it from that TV to there. This section, we have some windows over here with some blackout shades in front of the coach's station. You get some black leather couches here with a whiteboard. That's where they do strategy, talk about a lot of things they need to improve. League uses this a lot specifically because they primarily play here. On the back side of this middle station, kind of hard to see, but there's another set of 5 computers that just are flush, and those are all Alienware computers. We did a test um, with our students when we started the program to see what kind of equipment they liked and wanted to use. And we wanted to flesh it out. We decided to go half and half almost. So we did 5 Alienwares on the backside. Still have the same Razer webcam that they can use. Same respawn chair, same gaming station, but the equipment is Alienware. And so the only difference there is I think those graphics cards are 2060 Ti's, if that's right. Somebody correct me. But other than that, they're pretty much the same computer. Um, and then on the back wall, kind of hard to see, but on the back wall, there's another set of 5 computers. And those are NZXTs again underneath that sign. A little bit bright for you to see it with the light, but that sign is custom made. It's a big Red Wolf LED. It never turns off. We got some more blackout shades, and then all of our doors here. It looks bright in here because I turned the lights on, but all of our doors in here are black window tinted. We got the red trim around the top. All these lights dim or turn all the way off, and it's pretty sick. We have some natural skylighting that is above that door. There's like a huge ceiling there. It's there, so there's some natural light in here. Got red LEDs underneath all the desks. But the back wall there is NZXTs again. So 15 total setups and then a Koja station, and that accommodates us pretty well. Still lots of room for any type of person, ADA compliant, our whole space, ADA accessible. So that was one of the main goals we had, is that we wanted gaming to be for every single person on our campus. So we accomplished that, and we think it looks pretty sick. So I hope you guys like it as well. Let me see what Duran sent me, and we'll showcase their space, which looks equally as sick. Duran, are you there?
Yeah, I muted my mic.
Oh, bet. No problem. Okay, let's see. Anybody say anything crazy in chat? Let's see, floor cam. That's my seat. No drinks on the table. That's correct. There are no drinks in this space. You can have a bottled drink or something with a cap on the floor, but I don't let them put them on the stations. The equipment's just too expensive, guys.
Mhm.
Equipment's so expensive, and it's just not worth it. It's not that I think that our players will do anything intentionally. It's that accidents happen, and I don't want them to feel bad, and I don't want to have to feel bad, and I don't want to have to replace anything. I want it to last as long as possible. So we all the drinks go on the floor. No food in the space. They have to eat in the kitchen, and they sometimes will take out their own trash. You know, there's rules. You want a nice space. You got to take care of the space. We got people that come in every day and clean it for us. But if the trash gets full before they come in, if it's too full for you to put something in it, the rule is you take it out. And our players are really great about that. And it only happens every now and then, but they take really good care of the space, and that's why it looks the way it does still. So um, how to be able to access. You can only access this space if you are a player on the team. So just like you could not go into a football facility or the soccer facility or the volleyball facility unless you're a player, it is the same concept here. This is not open to the public. This is their special player space where they come and compete and practice. They don't do homework in here. They're not allowed to do homework on the computers. If they want to do homework on their own, they use a laptop and go in the players' lounge or somewhere else. But these computers are only for gaming, and so they come in here to do that. There is not a public space. I wish. We're working on that though. We want to carve out a space in our student union that has a public gaming area for all of our students to come in and use it. And we're working on that. Coronavirus definitely will impede that for a long time, you guys. That's just keeping it a buck, keeping it transparent. Um, whatever extra funds we thought we might have to be able to do that, I definitely won't be there in the next little while. But it is a goal of us to do so. Um, okay, Duran, shoot me some. Let me see
Yeah, I sent
here.
it on Discord.
Ooh, these are nice. Let me put this on here. Um, hmm. How to. Okay, there we are. You guys see that?
Yeah, I'm just waiting for it to show up on stream. There
Okay.
it is.
Yeah, so that's sick. You can see their League of Legends banner in the corner where they won because they're really good. I'll let you talk about your space. I'll pull up the other photo as well.
Yeah, so this is the esports room. Our esports room is in the library, which is interesting. So this is kind of like version 1.0 of the room. We have 14 computers. These are all Alienwares, 1080 Ti's, uh, 32 gigabytes of RAM, 500 gigabytes of storage. All the seats are OPC, thanks to Esports Medicine for working with OPC, and we got them donated to us, thankfully. We have two 70-inch televisions and black tiles on the ceiling, and those little like crown molding on the top of towards the top of the ceiling of the walls are like LEDs that we can turn on for like game days and stuff like that. But otherwise, the game room is actually open to the public. There's like a study area to the left of it that you can see like right outside the window. Um, each Yeah, pretty much anybody can come in. We have a sign-in sheet. People come in and they play. I have admin passwords on everything, so they can't all download whatever games they want. We have a specific roster of games. Um, we have a Smash setup on the two monitors all the way on your left in the current picture that we're showing, and yeah, 14 computers all ready for use. And then it's usually open from like 10 to 5 p.m. And then after 5 p.m. we have team practices and we have matches for the rest of the night. So usually we will close down the room for that reason, and that would only be for teams, for team players. What else? Yeah, those are the two 70-inch televisions. We usually watch our matches there.
Did you say
We'll
70?
Yeah.
Dang, I gotta step it up, bro.
Yeah. We got so we use those for like viewing parties. Sometimes we watch like Nintendo Directs. We watch we actually got the school open on a Saturday for to watch Worlds. So we had people come in and watch Worlds there. Everybody sat in like their cool gaming chairs and got to watch Worlds on those. We were that's pretty much the space overall.
That's sick. That's sick space. Um, 70 inches. I don't know. Anybody remember how big this TV is in here? I don't remember. It's a nice TV. I know it's new. It's definitely bigger than the old one. It's not 70, so we gotta step it up. Um, but that's sick. I really like Alienware. The when we did the test pilot on our systems,
Hmm.
the folks who liked our Alienwares best were our Overwatch players and our R6 players for some reason. And then
Okay.
our console folks, though, who are used to console, they really like the NZXTs. I don't know. The Alienwares are nice though, because the mice have the interchangeable pieces and the weights in the mice that a lot of
Mm.
like the HyperX doesn't have, you know.
Yeah,
So
for our keyboards, we actually have like the basic membrane keyboards that came with like the basic membrane keyboards and mice that came with the computers themselves because
yeah.
usually what our thought was a lot of players are going to be bringing in their own keyboards and mice anyway, so because that's what they bring from their houses. So those are just like kind of basic keyboards, and that's usually for like general public when they're playing. They can just use a basic keyboard instead of like the mechanical keyboards. So it's kind of like a little
Okay.
bit of a safer for us in general. We kind of cut a few costs here and there, and usually everybody brings in their own headsets and keyboards and mice and stuff like that. So that's what we're doing for that.
Nice. We definitely have some players that bring in their own keyboards and mice.
Hmm.
I've not seen headsets. Most players use our headsets. The Alienwares are like wireless, so they like to walk around with those because they can go wherever they want to. But
Hmm.
a lot of them like the equipment. That they definitely use their own keyboards and mice. Like some of our league players or Overwatch players definitely bring in their own. That's totally fine as long as you put it back the way you found it. Hook everything
Yeah.
back up. You know, basic rules you learned as a child. When you're done with one thing, you put it away before you pull out the next one. Um, but do a lot of your players stream? Have their own personal streams?
Yeah, a lot of them stream. Some of them actually stream from there. We thankfully we're in the library. You can go out to like the circulation desk and you can rent out like a webcam and everything.
Ooh,
So you can do that. We are able to stream pretty. We have pretty high internet speeds at the just for the esports room in general. So that helps out a lot. We don't really drop frames. All our monitors are 240 hertz as well. So um
sick.
and thankfully this is only version like I think this would technically be version 2.0, but we're going to thankfully we're going to be eventually things got delayed because coronavirus, but we're going to be
Yeah,
getting because it's going to be a bigger campus commons where we're going to be like we're going to be expanding this room like extensively in another building. So this is kind of just for now. I think the teams will be playing here until we get moved to another building. So
nice. You gotta. Is it inside the library or is it like separate?
oh no, it's going to be in a whole different building. Yeah.
Ooh. When do you think you might? I know it's delayed. When were you anticipating pre-coronavirus to be in there?
Yeah, I think it was the idea was like spring 2022. I think was the
Okay, okay,
idea.
okay.
That's the idea, but I don't know now.
Yeah. Well, that space is sick, and I think it's definitely helping you guys perform because
Hmm.
you got a huge banner. You've been doing some things, been winning, so I'm excited. When do you guys plan to do your tryouts for the fall?
We usually do those early August.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, same.
yeah, just to kind of get that in. I think the difference, the weird part for like both our campuses, like your campus, don't you guys have like a lot of a lot of people dorm at your campus, right?
Yeah, we have about 3,000-ish students that live
Holy
in the
moly.
rest halls on campus.
Damn.
That's a
Well, like
lot.
yeah, it's a lot. A lot of our whole camp. We have two campuses. We have one for Manhattan and we have one for Old Westbury. So we have like two separate. It's one team, but it's like we're a very travel based school.
Yeah.
So our room is like made to represent that. Where it's kind of like you come in, you play, and then you leave to go back home because a lot of our guys live like deeper in Long Island and they take like 3 hours to drive back home. So it's interesting for us to say the least.
Sorry, I saw David Chen sent me a message. He said your gaming center is badass. We agree, bro. He said that the NYIT one is sick too.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, that's big coming from him. Appreciate you saying that. Thank you so much. Um, we don't. We have zero sponsors currently, to be honest with you. So this was not
Yeah,
based on
same.
sponsors. I don't know if you guys are same at NYIT, but all of this was institutional support and funding. That
Hmm.
our institution has a long-standing history of setting up club sport programs to begin, and then they kind of pave their own pathway. You look at the rugby team. Our rugby team has won national title. It's phenomenal. And they are a club. They're a club team, and so they got started that way. The institution put significant amount of support and funding into them, and they just took off. And so we're hoping to do the same and kind of pave our own pathway. But zero sponsors. We've had some interest, but I think with coronavirus, it's kind of
Hmm.
a lot of the things that we're all aspiring for are kind of on the back burner. I definitely don't think they went away. I just think you got to prioritize the health and the well-being of players and people and the intangibles that you got to have. You got to have your players as people. They got things going on in their lives, and so there's other things you got to focus on before you can think about equipment all the time and stuff like that. So we've just been trying to make sure our people are good. You guys got any sponsors? Duran? I don't know. I can't remember
Um,
if you guys do or not.
no, I don't think we have any sponsors. We have the OPCs that were donated to us, but that's because Esports Medicine is working with us. Nothing like officially yet for the side beers in general.
Okay, okay. Have you had people interested in wanting to be part of it?
Yeah, I think we've had a few interests. It's just everything's delayed now. It's I'm not even at campus right now. I'm at home and I got like remote desktop connection to like the old west this room that you're seeing right now.
Yeah.
So it's interesting for me to say the least.
Dang. So are you're still like your teams though, they're still I know your Overwatch team outside of playing us today, they're still doing a tournament today, right?
Oh yeah, they were originally. We were originally gonna. We got into the spring rally. We were gonna have our match right after the match with you guys, but I think our match is gonna be on Sunday now. So
Ooh, okay.
tomorrow.
All right, all
So
right, all right.
it's gonna be a little bit less of a crazy day from, I mean, at least from like an organizational standpoint. So
I
um
was telling my Overwatch team, I was like, yo, you guys gotta warm up. They're gonna be warm. They're gonna be coming off a tournament. You gotta warm up. Can't go into this
yeah,
thing cold. And they're laughing with me, but I was like, I'm serious.
they're actually they're actually yeah, they actually were playing, they were gonna be playing in a tournament, and then I think we got scheduled for tomorrow. So I think they should
Gotcha.
be on really soon to be able to start warming up. I think like, yeah, soon.
So I want to go back to something you asked me about earlier. We were talking about in a non-collegiate platform, would you still play in like some open tournaments and stuff like that? What open platforms or tournaments are you guys competing in that you've found to be successful?
Wait, say that one more time.
So we talked about like the platforms that are non-collegiate based that you can compete in for tournaments and whatnot.
Hmm.
Which ones of those have you guys found that you think are successful that you've enjoyed participating in?
I think we usually like to go for tournaments that are like sponsored by like the actual company. So we did Overwatch Open Division. I think one of our Fortnite players actually plays in the Cash Cup whenever he possibly can.
Yeah,
Because we have one that like one of our Fortnite players who like constantly plays in this room, but because like his internet connection at home is not very good, and now with everybody at home, it's kind of like weird for us. Um, since we can't even utilize the room anymore, which sucks. But
yeah,
so for us, it's kind of just like going after tournaments that are, yeah, that are usually sponsored by like the actual companies themselves. So yeah, like Overwatch Open Division, and then we have our collegiate R6 team is playing in like multiple tournaments overall. Usually I like to keep them like we talked about before. We like to keep them in collegiate tournaments.
yep.
So if there's a collegiate tournament, we usually gravitate to that one first before going for like a something that's outside of collegiate.
I agree. I agree. Did you guys are your chairs? I see they got your colors. They got your logo on them.
Oh no no, they, yeah, no, they just got them in blue and yellow.
What kind of
So
chairs are they again?
OP seats.
Ooh. Okay.
And then
Okay.
but we have like the mouse pads with the Cybears logos on them,
Yo,
which
I
is
saw
kind of cool.
that. Who did those for you guys?
I think we got them custom made. I think it was like from the last year's like medical conference that we did it at Manhattan campus. We
Oh,
actually gave like goodie bags away with like the mouse pads and like ECC, like East Coast Conference stuff and stuff like
dang.
that.
We gotta trade swag.
Okay.
I'll
Yeah,
send
we'll
you
send a
guys
box,
I'll
and
send you guys a
yeah,
jersey. Yo,
as soon as everything mail opens up again.
that's right. Yo, I often forget because we have, NYT on our campus here that you guys are locked down in New York and it's man, just thinking about you guys
It's
cuz you got it difficult.
it's honestly, it's, yeah, it's really tough. Manhattan got shut down super hard. So Manhattan campus, I mean, thankfully our guys are very used to playing from home, since like Manhattan students can't come to Old Westbury campus because it's like 2 hours like by train,
Yeah,
like an hour and a half by train. So it's
dang.
kind of difficult. So our guys are used to playing from home, thankfully. But it'd be nice if like today, I mean today we're supposed to be like at Arkansas. It's gonna be the first time like everybody's been to Arkansas before, so
Yeah,
it's
well,
gonna be
you
a really
guys were
cool
flying
experience.
out. You were going to stay at our
Yeah, we're
new
gonna,
Embassy Suites Hotel and
yeah,
Convention Center on campus.
we had everything organized, and there was like coronavirus, and I was like, why? I was
Yeah,
like, I had like 4 different events planned for April. We were supposed to go to like HV GamerCon in like Albany in like a week ago, like 2 weeks ago. And then we were supposed to come to Arkansas, and then we were supposed to go to like another tour. Like it was gonna be like such a cool traveling year for us, but sucks. But
yeah, it is what it is though. We gotta stay safe,
yeah, it's better than getting all my players sick. So
Yeah, well,
uh,
us doing it virtually was like no question, right? Had to
yeah, no,
had to still make it happen. Um,
yeah,
we're going to. No one comes to Arkansas. Yes, they do. So actually, speaking of that, a lot of people don't know this, but the reason they're like, why would New York want to put a campus in Arkansas? There's a lot of reasons. It was a super mutually beneficial partnership for us. So Arkansas, outside of the NYIT med school that's on our campus, only has one other medical school in the state, and
damn.
it's at UAMS. And so that other school on the west side we don't talk about, but
We don't talk about
yeah,
them.
we don't talk about them. That other school, we'll leave it at that. But the that's the only medical school outside of NYT. And so what you had is a lot of folks who were interested in medicine, in the state of Arkansas, and they were only going to one place if they stayed in Arkansas, which is UAMS, and they don't accept everybody because they can't accept everybody.
Mhm.
And so then we had this mutually beneficial partnership. Now we have way more doctors in the state of Arkansas that are actually staying locally. Um, and we're able to contribute to the economy in Arkansas and to the healthcare industry, which is phenomenal. And the partnership's been great because a lot of the folks who were looking for different opportunities at A State, they didn't leave Arkansas State. They work at NYIT. We share some folks here and there. This NYIT students that are on our campus here in Arkansas live in our residence halls. They live in the Circle apartments. They're upperclassmen apartments. And it's just been really great for all of us. We recently transitioned our A State Student Health Center to, oh man, I'm gonna butcher the new name, but essentially it is an NYIT run student health center on our campus now by actual NYIT students who are becoming medical professionals in the field. And so just tons and tons of opportunities and growth between both schools in that partnership. So it's
Mhm.
been nothing but amazing for us. Let's see here. Any other questions in chat? Anything else you guys want to know? Any burning questions about teams, esports? Duran, what games do you guys have there right now?
Okay, let me go down the list. We have Overwatch, two Overwatch, two League of Legends, Rainbow Six. We have two Smash Brothers teams. One for Manhattan, that's more Manhattan centered, and one that's more Old Westbury centered. We have Fortnite, Rocket League, which is going to be playing in the ECC today, for like their first like really big tournament this year. We're going to be doing Valorant, and yeah, one, two, three, four, five,
World of Warcraft team, they
six.
want to know?
That's yeah, no, that's my guy.
What do you deep
He
sigh, bro? Deep sigh.
cause we could like cause for like that Tespa does like they do the what's it called, they do dungeon runs. They do like the World of
Yeah.
Warcraft dungeon runs,
Yeah,
but it's
yeah.
like if it's just one person doing the dungeon run, then we can't do the dungeon run. Like I need more people. That's what I keep telling people. People keep asking me for like these crazy like outlandish teams, and I don't care. Like we could do it, but it's like you need at least like four other people to do who are committed to doing World of Warcraft dungeon runs.
Exactly.
So
I don't know if you're gonna have that. I don't know. That's just me. I don't know.
I mean I'd be pretty happy to have like a World of Warcraft team, dungeon run team. But if it's just one person, I can't just make a team from that.
Well, exactly. That's what I was talking about earlier. Everybody was like, "Yo, are you gonna hold a team? You're gonna hold a team?" I mean, yeah, I could do a tryout, but if like one person shows up for a five-person team, like, what do you want me to
Yeah,
do? I can't. I
yeah.
can't. We can't play with bots. Like, what do you want? You know? Um, let's see. How to apply for the team. So, I know for us, we are gonna do tryouts in August, and so probably mid-June, late June, we will put out information and a sign up where you will submit your interest for tryouts and give me some pre information I can review to go ahead and get to know you as a player and where your interests lie. Um, and we're intentionally waiting till August, A, because I want to be able to evaluate our incoming freshmen or our transfer students, right? I don't want to miss that pocket of people because there's so much talent in Arkansas. It's insane. And that's one of the reasons why I'm glad that esports has taken off in Arkansas because there's so much talent in Arkansas, and to be able to showcase that is a phenomenal opportunity. So I'm just super excited about that. But I don't want to miss those people, and that's a lot of people. So we're gonna put that out there probably mid-June or so, and you'll see that on the Discord, on our Twitter, on our link tree. You'll see that everywhere. You're not gonna miss it. And so as long as you're part of that, if you want to be able make sure you don't miss any of those things for some reason, definitely I would recommend Twitter. For some reason, esports lives in Twitter. Twitter is definitely where esports pops off at.
Yeah.
So get a Twitter. Twitter's first step. Follow us at A State Esports, and a pinned tweet at the top of our profile is our link tree. If you click the link tree, every link that you need to connect with us on any platform is all there. YouTube, Twitch, Discord, A State in general. All that stuff is there. And so click that. If you're in the Discord, you're definitely not going to miss it. If you follow us on Twitter, you're for sure not going to miss it. If you follow the stream, all those things, you're going to see it there. So Duran, what about you guys? How can they get information about your team tryouts and things coming up?
Yeah, I think mostly it's just our Discord. I'll promote on Twitter as well, but our Discord is kind of like where everything pops off. I'm about to start using Linktree.
Yeah,
I just
I
started.
stole it from somebody else. I forget who it was. It was another school I saw using it, and I DM'd them and I said, "Yo, tell me about this link tree. Why do you use it?" And they told me, and I've never gone back. Literally, never looked back.
Yo, I'm about to start doing that. What?
Did you
um,
see that? If you go to our Twitter, like click the link tree and look,
I'm
it's
about
just
to literally
super
check.
user friendly. All your links in one place, so you don't have to keep posting them separately. It's just super user friendly. I've gotten a lot of positive feedback about it, so
Oh,
highly
it's so
recommend.
cool. Okay, cool. I think I'm gonna actually do that
It's
then.
free. It's easy.
Yeah. So I'm gonna yeah. So eventually, I guess it will be a link tree, but so yeah, no, we usually organize on Discord a lot.
Yeah.
So I love how like whenever I type A into Twitter, I usually get A State. Okay, cool.
Yes.
So
Yes. The branding is
so
working.
the brand it's working. So we usually organize all on Discord. I usually send out the I make like a lot of forms on like Google Drive, and then it like collects your NYIT email address so I can easily contact you.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of just like organizing for like dates. I usually put you ever use a website called When to Meet? That's what usually get to get all my people in this at the same time.
No.
Yeah, let me send that to you.
I use oh, what the heck? What's it called? Doodle poll.
Doodle poll. Oh, really? Okay,
Yeah,
let me send it to
or
you.
we have like we have a group me. We have like an announcements group me and then a general chat group me. I'll post a
Hmm.
poll in the group me to get that and and have them tell me like what days. Generally, we try to meet on Saturdays in the afternoons or Sundays in the afternoons. A lot of
Yeah.
them like you know how it goes. You got class, you got work, you got other
Hmm.
extracurriculars you're involved in. So we own that letter. We do own. Look, the A. If you ever notice, a lot of folks write it like that. That's exactly why that capital A in the chat. Um,
Mm.
you gotta put state or Arkansas State or A State. You gotta do something because I can't be referred to as ASU all the time. They've been doing some crazy stuff lately. Can't be
Can
tied
I
to them.
buy a vowel?
Yeah, I like to buy a letter. Yeah, exactly. I like to buy some
um,
extra branding.
But yeah, the when to meet is like what I use for my guys. I usually set all the dates, and then they could just select what times they're available, and then I usually just select what's like the most densest population of the amount of people who said they're available for a time.
Yeah,
And it really helps for like people who they don't have to sign in or anything. They just put their name and then put in like what times they're available. So it really helps out for like when newer players. I don't have to go through like a whole process for them and stuff like that. So
I
I
saw you
sent it
sent
to
me
you.
that. Thank you. I'll
Yeah,
definitely
it's really
use that.
useful.
That's what I like about esports. Everybody shares resources. It's not
Yeah.
like there's NDAs for big companies and things when you're trying to um, branch out with people or work on stuff like that. But when it's just program to program, there's everybody's so willing to chat. Um,
Hmm.
I've got a surprise. So it turns out David Chin actually is going to join us in the Q&A here for a second. And
Oh,
so
bet.
if you have any questions for David that you wanted to ask or anything like that, um, we're gonna put him in this Discord call in a second, and we're gonna make this happen. Give me 2 seconds.
I'm gonna make an account for Linktree while I well. uh, this is actually really cool.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey,
All right. We'll see when it's calling him. We'll see if he joins. Um, But any of your questions you had for David that you wanted to put in here that you didn't get a chance to when he was speaking or anything else, now's your time. I'm just going to tell you that if you've never had an opportunity to talk to a business person or a human being or an esports innovator
hello.
like David, hey David, I was
Hey,
just gassing you up real quick. If you've never had an opportunity to talk to somebody like that, chat, this is just incredible access. So definitely use this opportunity wisely to ask some burning questions, anything you didn't get to during the Zoom chat. Um, David, thanks for hanging out with us for a second. We appreciate it.
no problem. Give me 1 second.
No, you're fine.
Making my Linktree account.
Chat, what you got? What questions? What do you want to know?
Okay, sorry about that. I was trying to type it or go on our channel, but this works.
No, you're good. Duran and I. Duran's on the call. Duran is you've been listening to us
Hello.
a little bit. Duran's the coach at NYIT.
Hey, how are you?
Hey, how you doing?
Good, good, good. Thanks for having me, guys. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Yeah, anytime. I was gassing you up, telling chat. I was like, listen, this is uh, access that is insane to have, and so any questions you have or anything you want to know, definitely now is your opportunity. Don't let opportunities like this slide by.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, whatever I can do to help, I'm in it for the community. We can do what we got to do. We'll definitely make it work.
So I told him earlier that they can email Newton at gtifcapital.com for
Yeah,
the resume.
we've gotten 5 emails already.
Oh my goodness. Wow, you guys are serious about
Nice.
that.
They
Good.
did good. They did good. I was pleasantly surprised. I was like, maybe nobody's awake right now.
No, they're all awake. They're spamming emotes in the chat.
Yeah.
They're spamming phase, so they're excited.
That's
Um
awesome.
yeah, so we'll ask you a person in the chat asked us earlier a bait question. We'll have you indulge us a little bit and ask you the same bait question. So out of phase, what's your favorite esports team?
This is so bad.
Outside of FaZe was my favorite esports
No,
team.
within phase, which one of their esports teams is your favorite?
I like them all, man. I
How
like
you
the
doing?
content creator guys. I can humbly sit there and tell you that, I hung out with Temper and Adapt and Apex, and those guys are just amazing human beings. Temper and Adapt and I did a car rally. If you actually go check out his YouTube, you'll actually see me on there with him. They came to El Paso, stayed at my house. We did an awesome rally from El Paso to Vegas, and that was in April of this year. So it's
Dang.
super amazing and super fun. And I'm more about personality and human beings than I'm about any other type of allegiances.
Right.
But they're definitely.
I think you. I don't know if we cut out for a second. Did we
Yeah.
lose him? He may have cut out for a second, chat.
I'm sorry. Here we go.
Yeah.
No,
Better.
you're
I'm
good.
back.
You're good. Somebody in chat has asked, why doesn't FaZe have a Rocket League team? I've been wanting to see one, but I haven't.
No idea. I'm just an investor. I mean, really, you're gonna have to ask those guys. They do the day-to-day stuff. I just saw a great opportunity to join a great company and was fortunate to be part of that round. So I wish I could give you a better answer, but I don't have
Yeah.
one. But we are having a Rocket League tournament, and ACL is, which obviously
Ooh,
separate from
nice
phase,
segue.
and that is this coming weekend. You can check us out at playnacl.com. It would, I'll be there watching. It would definitely be amazing to have anybody join and come play. We'd love to have you guys.
That's sick. NACL, for those of you who don't know, the way that I actually got in contact with David is that we saw Duran and I talked about this a little bit, the different platforms for gaming tournaments and competitive
Mhm.
spaces. NACL was hosting a Fortnite tournament. They host tons of tournaments, but they were happened to be hosting a Fortnite tournament at the time and had a sick cash prize, which is not common in a lot of competitions. So shout out to NACL. They're always trying to give people free money for their talents, which is nice. I would say it's free, but you got to earn it. You got to be, good at the game. But they were giving away some money for first and second place. I think it's some gaming chairs, just sick prize. Anyways, a really cool tournament. So our Fortnite team competed and they did pretty well. I think the first tournament they got second. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and David reached out. He was like, thanks for competing. We're really glad to have you guys. And that was just really nice because there's a crap ton of teams that were in that tournament. And I thought, man, if he took the time to reach out to every one of those teams, that's insane. Like that's personal
Mhm.
investment and in what we talk about with those relationships. And so he did that firsthand with us, and we got to talking and just happened to have the same passion for people in esports and made something really cool happen with the conference. So I'm thankful for him to be able to speak to you all today for that. And shout out to NACL. They were hosting us on the stream, still might be today. So thank them for that exposure. But NACL does a lot of really good tournaments, good cash prizes, good opportunities for you to showcase your talents. Um, I think there's this misconception that open tournaments, maybe that are not necessarily collegiate based, and even some that are, that the talent, if it's not big name esports schools, that it's not there. That's that's a that's a crazy myth. the talent in esports is insane. You don't have to be from Maryville or from Boise State or from wherever to be really good at esports. And there's a
Hmm.
lot of really, really good, talented players that are at schools whose names you don't know. And those schools compete in tournaments that NACL puts on and other schools or other companies put on. So making sure that you take advantage of those competitive opportunities is really, really important.
Yeah, and to add to that, I mean, what for the love of esports and what we're trying to do on the collegiate side, recognizing what we did on professional side. I mean, college esports really doesn't get the love that it deserves, but it is up and coming, and I want to tell everyone that they're doing a great job and to stick with it because if you looked at my life story, if you just go to my podcast, which is Pananomics Podcast, and listen to episode 1, you would probably not believe that I'm lucky enough and blessed enough to sit where I'm sitting. And with NACL, it's a nonprofit. What we do a little bit differently, I didn't mention, I think I mentioned that earlier, is we have the only streaming rights in Asia to stream and broadcast. And why is that significant? Well, because none of the stuff that we have here in the US can be aired over there, which means you're having instant access to teams. We're averaging about 300,000 viewers. So
That's
even
insane.
today's stuff that we're airing on right now at our NACL channel, although it might only have 20, 30 views in the US. Now it's simultaneously connected to our channel in China and Asia. So on our whole mile channel, we'll probably have 100, 200,000 people watching you guys today and your guys' conference out there in Asia. And then we
That's
have our two
crazy.
TV shows that's in 7 countries and 48 episodes. So anyone who's trying to get really big out there that wants to stream and going from there and get to know, that's why you play an NACL, as a nonprofit, but because you don't know who's watching. And I didn't even, we'll make this announcement Monday, but I might as well tell everyone now. We've signed a couple of deals with some pro teams out around the world. One is with Fosun Group, which owns the Wolverhampton for the English Premier Leagues or Wolves Esports for PUBG. And basically, anyone that can play in our PUBG tournament, if they're super good, we're basically the affiliate to introduce them to the pro team out over there, and you can go pro. So
That's
that's
awesome.
just one of many, many, many things that we're doing. And I'm using all my connections because frankly, I love esports and that's why we're doing it.
That's crazy. That's insane. I can't even imagine that type of exposure. That's really great. Um, one of the questions in chat is, I'm sure something most people want to know is what is the best way for someone with years of experience to join an organization like FaZe? How do you get your foot in the door?
Well, I mean, I think with anything in life, and I can't necessarily speak for the hiring process phase. Obviously, I don't hire, but I could just tell you that at the bare minimum, with anything you do, experience is determined based on what you do, but it's based on what the market knows about you, right? So the assumption is always be nice. When I reached out to Arkansas State, I had no expectations to speak or to be blessed to be able to speak with you guys. I just did it as a thank you for playing in our tournament, and through that, second I grew relationships, started working, and that's why I say by being nice to people because you just never know, what's going to come out of it. And because of her being nice to me, she didn't know, and nobody knew that we were going to offer the internship to your guys' universities, and that's because she's just being nice to me, right? And I did it in front of the chancellor and dean to let him know that she's doing a great job. Like that's the way it has to be. You're nice, you watch out for people. And that's the first thing. I think the second thing is, just because you know your value doesn't mean the market knows your value. And you have to check your ego and be very honest about that, right? You can be the greatest gamer in the world, just like you can make the best hamburger in the world. It doesn't mean that you're going to outsell McDonald's, even though you might not think McDonald's hamburgers are good. So what does that mean? It means that you apply and you volunteer, and you might scoff at the volunteer idea, but let's call it what it is. If you're that good, they'll hire you. They'll work for you, right? Because they're not going to let good talent go. So sometimes just doing it that way works. And for me in esports, that's where, even though I was a managing partner at Deloitte and I've been on Forbes 15 times and have done some very, very amazing and blessed things, I had to restart in esports. And when I invested in FaZe, I kind of, and after doing Super Bowl commercial, kind of sat back and I saw what they were doing. And when we started NACL, I started with honestly 6 figures of my own money just because we love esports. And that's because you have to deposit in order to withdraw. And my
Mm.
deposit into the gaming community was putting this in and meeting people like yourself. So when it came time to withdraw, like it is today, I'm able to speak in front of you guys. Right. So you have to be honest with yourself on your value and go from there. And that's not just with FaZe, that's just anything in life.
For sure. I, I can't thank you enough because I think that that's words of wisdom that a lot of folks need to hear, and I don't know that a lot of our students or gamers or other aspiring business folks in the field necessarily know the avenues where to go and get those. And so the more we can plug into those, I think that that's great. You know, you talked about your podcast earlier. Can you plug that one more time?
Sure, it's Pandanomics. Everything's Panda, right? So David Shin Panda, but Pandanomics, you can find it on Apple or Spotify. Get a chance to take a look at it and listen in.
Sick. Thank you so much. Um, Chat, we'll give you like another second to ask any last questions before we break here real quick. We're gonna have I know we said League of Legends was gonna start. We did a little swap for you guys. We're gonna start with Fortnite, and then we're gonna go to League of Legends, and then we're gonna round out with Overwatch. Um, let's see. Another question. Ooh. Okay, this is kind of a good one. David, they want to know any thoughts on Valorant as a gamer, and then as a viable esports title, and should universities be looking for a Valorant team?
Well, I unfortunately have not played it because I don't have a code yet, and I think I tweeted that the other day out there, but I did talk to the publishers and mentioned it a couple days ago. But I have seen it. I have been watching it. I think it's great what they're doing. I think anytime there's new gameplay and new fans and new excitement, it's great, right? That's the reality of it, and that's what publishers are doing very, very well. And I think that nobody ever told me when I started Deloitte and I started the China Services Group that I needed permission to do so, right? I did it within the parameters, but I did it because I believed in it. And that's the same with NACL. I did it because I believed in it. Well, if you want to start a team, start a team. Do it. I mean, who says you can't? Obviously, you do the right channels, go from there. But start the team, get it going, start leagues. You can do it. You have the ability to do so, and that's the way I think you not just do that in business, but also in life and gaming. I think it's going to be awesome.
I think so too. I like Valorant. I as a gamer, a personal gamer, and I think Durain and I kind of talked about this. Durain, you've been playing it a lot.
Yeah, I've been playing it a lot.
Yeah. I can't get into it as a gamer, but that's just, not all gamers play all games.
Yeah,
But I think it's going to be successful because I think Riot does a really good job with games, and so I'm hoping that
mhm,
that carries them. I think it's already carried them. The fact that it was Riot Games put it out, I think, has already given them much more publicity than it otherwise would
yeah.
have. But Doreen, you can maybe talk about that. We already kind of did, but you can touch on it if you want to.
Yeah, I think Valorant's gonna be able to blow up in the collegiate scene a lot better than CS:GO did, for reasons that like Riot. I'm pretty sure Riot was very careful about um they were very careful about like what they called certain things like attackers defenders and then spike instead of bomb and then all this stuff, and it allows colleges and stuff like that to be able to market the team a lot easier without having to worry about a like a big time investor looking at the thing and being like, wow, they're saying bomb a lot, aren't they? So it's um I know it's a minor thing for gamers in general, where it's kind of like we don't think about these things because it's virtual world and we're kind of just having fun on it. But like when people are investing a lot of money into these things and they want to make sure their investments are solid, then we have some big problems. There's Destro. He's one of our Overwatch players who is like very good at CS:GO, but we can't do CS:GO for the reasons I talked about before. So it's kind
Right.
of uh at least Valorant gives them that opportunity to be able to play stuff like that. Um, you already know the answer to that. Don't type that in chat. Um, so uh, yeah, no, I think it's gonna be able to, like, a lot of schools are gonna be able to do it without having to worry about it that much, where they know that it's from League of Legends and they know it's from Riot, so they know that the game is going to be I think it's gonna be extremely successful, and it's just kind of just waiting to see how all these individual leagues, now that they put up like the community guidelines for like tournaments, to see how that's all gonna play out, because now everybody's gonna have their own way of doing things, and eventually Riot's gonna pick it up, I think, and then do like what they did with League of Legends, and then we'll see how it goes, and eventually we'll probably see like an SKT1 gun skin or something like that, maybe in like 3 years or something like that. So I don't know.
Oh man. All right, chat. We are closing in on the end of the Q&A session. Thank you so much for submitting questions and for hanging out with us. The viewership's been great. We super appreciate the love in the chat, and to our speakers, spending their time. You don't get to where all of these folks are in the industry without being extremely busy and having a lot of folks asking for your time. And so we really want to make sure that we're appreciative and thank them for the time they've spent with us today. Any of your other questions you have in chat, I'll send them to our speakers and see if I can get some responses back to you. We're going to take a brief break and then we're going to come back at 1 for Fortnite. We're going to do a best of 3 bot race, kill race, A-State versus NYIT. So thank you, David, for hopping back on a call with us. Thank you, Duran, for hanging out with me and helping talk about our
Oh, don't worry about
programs.
it. Yeah, it was a pleasure.
Awesome. Um, and we're gonna be right back, chat. Give us about 5 minutes here. We'll be back with some Fortnite. Thank you again.